Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. So every Republican in the House, every single one, which doesn't happen very often, voted for the clean government funding bill on September 19th. Will they all vote for this compromise, do you think?
I believe they will. The long national nightmare is almost coming to an end now, the beginning of the end, as I said this morning in my press conference. It was long overdue, and the irony is, Jake, it really was a shutdown about nothing. I mean, what we're voting on is effectively exactly what we offered them several weeks back. We've added some appropriations bills now, which we're in favor of because it's getting us back to the regular order. We'll take care of some other details, but I don't think Chuck Schumer got anything out of this other than a political show, and sadly, I think that's what he was after the whole time.
So a source on today's House GOP conference call said that you told members that you're hoping for a Wednesday House vote to reopen the government. The shutdown, air travel chaos, obviously, is a, you can't predict that.
It's a challenge for us, for sure. I'd like to vote tonight after the Senate is done, but it takes everybody a while to get back. We have people come from the West Coast. We have a member flying in from Guam, so he has 20 hours just to get to the West Coast and then get here. So we've got to get everybody back. We're praying that they can make it through the chaos that all the other American people have been made to suffer through because of this needless political show that the Democrats have been engaging in.
But you'll wait until you have the votes before you have the vote.
We need to get everybody back. I mean, everybody in both parties, and I've told them to start the travel earlier today. So I expect and hope that we'll have everybody here.
So the Senate bill is setting a date for a Senate vote on extending the Obamacare subsidies, which are set to expire at the end of the year. You have not committed to a separate House vote on the issue. 13 of your most vulnerable members, as you know, wrote a letter to you saying that after the shutdown, quote, we should immediately turn our focus to the growing crisis of health care affordability and the looming expiration of the Enhanced Affordable Care Act premium tax credits. While we did not create this crisis, we now have both the responsibility and the opportunity to address it. That's 13 members. Are you going to listen to them?
Yeah, I've been in contact with those members and all of our members throughout the entire ordeal that we've been going through. This is a very important point. We were always open to sitting down to negotiate and talk through how to reduce healthcare costs. It's a crisis for the American people. The cost have skyrocketed. It's the Democrats who put us into this scenario. Remember, they're the ones that created the ACA. We call it the Unaffordable Care Act, because that's exactly what's been yielded. Since 2010, since they put it into law, premiums have skyrocketed, some estimates 60% overall, and they're continuing to go up.
Well, premiums were skyrocketing before Obamacare, too.
Not at this pace, and the problem is now it's becoming completely unaffordable for more and more people. The Democrat solution is to subsidize the broken system. We would like to go in and look at the root causes of why those costs are so high, and we've been doing that. It's not just talking points. We have had laws signed into law, this Congress, that have begun to chip away at that. There's a lot more yet to do, but we've got to build consensus between the parties. It should be bipartisan. We're looking forward to that.
That's a long-term issue, though, what you're talking about. You're not going to be able to solve this issue of skyrocketing premiums, not just in Obamacare, for everything. Well, premiums are going up in Obamacare, yes. They're also going up for people not in Obamacare, for like me and you.
Well, there's short-term solutions and longer-term solutions.
Right,
you're right. It's very complicated.
But on the short-term issue of the people who with the subsidies, and that's going to expire at the end of the year, will you have a vote on the issue as your 13 Republicans, frontline Republicans, people that you're the speaker because of them?
Yes.
They're in districts that are vulnerable. Sure. Will you have a vote so they can vote?
The very people that you were citing in the letter believe we have to have real reforms. So what I'm committed to, and I have all along, this has never changed, is a deliberative process that we do in the House. We have a very small margin. Majorities, whomever has the majority now in this era is going to have a small margin, and so it requires the involvement of a lot of members. See, the problem that I had with Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries is Leader Schumer was insisting that I go into a back room, Leader Thune and I go into a back room with he and Jeffries and do a four corners agreement to fix this. It's not possible. It was never appropriate to do that on a short-term funding measure. We needed the month of October, November, December to work through this. And ironically, because of his shenanigans, they've now taken all that time off the clock. So we have a lot more important work to do in a shorter time period.
Congressman Don Bacon, who's retiring, of Nebraska, he's been working with Congressman Tom Suozzi, a moderate Democrat from New York. They're about this exact issue, about reforms on these subsidies, means testing, having the payments directly go to the insurance companies instead of to the businesses than the insurance companies. Is that something you're willing to let come up for a vote?
That's one of many ideas that are on the table. The problem is when you're subsidizing insurance companies, they just jack the rates up even higher. I mean, we've been seeing this over and over and over. So the solution is, to get at the root causes. I'll give you an example. In the big, beautiful bill, the Working Families Tax Cut, we had the Medicaid reforms. So as we've discussed many times, what we did was we went in to eliminate the fraud, waste, and abuse and drive down the cost. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, evaluated that and said, you know what, that's right, it will achieve that. It'll save $185 billion for taxpayers because you got ineligible enrollees off the system. We need to do that same thing across the board through healthcare. We tried that in the big, beautiful bill when it went over to the Senate in the House version. We included a cost-sharing reduction program that would have reduced premiums 12.7% overall on average nationwide.
Yeah.
The Democrats fought in the Senate to take it out of the bill. So there are a lot of ideas that we'd like to bring back to the table because that will actually solve the problem and not just subsidize insurance companies.
So you're not committing to bringing up a bill that deals with the Obamacare subsidies before they expire?
I'm not committing to it or not committing to it. What I'm saying is that we do a deliberative process. That's the way this always works, and we have to have time to do that, and we will in a bipartisan fashion.
If something passes the Senate, it would only pass on a bipartisan basis.
Yeah.
Would you bring it up?
Well, the bill that's going to pass
To extend the subsidies, that later vote.
I can't commit to anything that hasn't even passed through the Senate yet. I mean, I've never done that. I'm very consistent. I've been Speaker for over 2 years, and one of the reasons I've held the gavel is because I don't go out and predetermine outcomes. It's a member-driven institution, as it should be, and I'm really insistent about that. We got to get back to regular order, and that's what we're doing here.
President Trump today on Truth Social said that air traffic controllers should get back to work. He said he's going to recommend a $10,000 bonus for any controllers who took no time off. And he said, well, anyone who doesn't show up will be substantially docked. He then went on to say, quote, for those that did nothing but complain and took time off, even though everyone knew they would be paid in full shortly into the future, I am not happy with you, all caps. Now, as the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, has said to me on my show and to plenty of other people, these air traffic controllers, some of them called into work and said they couldn't come in because they had to take a job as an Uber Eats driver or a Lyft driver just to put gas in their car so they could get to work the next day.
Yeah.
Do you think the president realizes this?
I think he does. I spent some time yesterday talking to my good friend Sean Duffy, who's a former colleague, now the Secretary of Transportation, and I was with the president last night. We have a lot of sympathy for the people who have, at great personal sacrifice, gone to the towers, gone to work, and done their job. The president wants to reward that, and that I appreciate that sentiment. It would take an act of Congress, I'm sure, to make that happen, but it's the right idea.
But he says, I am not happy with you, all caps. I mean,
well, look, on an individual basis, there may be some people that abuse the program, but I mean, it wasn't just air traffic controllers, of course. I mean, we asked Border Patrol agents, TSA agents, and many other categories of federal employees, including all the employees that keep this place in operation.
Right, Capitol Hill police officers, right?
All of them, the ones that are protecting us right now. I mean, they've been working without pay, and so we have great sympathy for them. We'd like to reward that any way we can. It's a patriotic duty that they filled for their country.
When the House returns, so I guess presumably Wednesday, if your prayers come true Wednesday,
yes.
When are you going to swear in Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva of Arizona, who was elected way back in September?
Yeah, just as I promised, as soon as we get back to legislative session. So, I mean, before we have this vote that we're talking about, she'll be administered the oath. That's
after the House gavel's in, but before the vote?
Right, yeah, sure, as soon as we get started, yeah.
And then she has said that she is going to be the 218th vote to force the discharge petition, to release the Epstein files, et cetera, et cetera.
She has the right. I mean, that's immaterial to us. It's now a moot point, by the way. The Oversight Committee has been delving in deeply to the Epstein investigation, and they've released 43,000 pages of the Epstein files, more to come. Subpoenas are being complied with. By the way, the latest batch was the Epstein estate files that is not even considered in the discharge petition, was never mentioned. But that was a treasure trove of information, and they released his personal logs, his flight logs, his financial records, and even his daily calendar. So there's plenty of oversight. All of that information is going to be released to the public. The only thing they're redacting, Jake, is the names of the innocent victims.
Sure.
And we insisted upon that, and everybody of common sense understands why that is.
Of course, the survivors. Speaker Rex Johnson, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. I hope the government opens.
Yes, me too.
All right, thanks so much.